Hi, all. Good morning, good evening. Welcome to day 3 of our exclusive training, JMeter Beginner to Master with Groovy, Dynatrace, Kubernetes, Docker, InfluxDB, Grafana, Jenkins, and BlazeMeter. As well as the training is in line with the JMeter certification from BlazeMeter. So, once the training is completed, you should be able to successfully, pass the certification from JMeter, the certification on JMeter from BlazeMeter, guys. So yesterday we continued with the other common terminologies with performance testing. So as I mentioned before, guys, each and every session is being recorded, and the recordings are being shared with you all, right, the very next day. So you will be having the lifetime access to the videos, and also whatever documents, slides, I present during the sessions, they will be shared along with the additional documents. Whenever you have any queries, please unmute yourself and ask your query, everyone. Do not hesitate, guys. Okay, so let's make the sessions as much interactive as possible. So before I start for the day, anyone has any queries from the previous session? Anyone has any queries from the previous session? So I'll take it as a no, guys. We'll continue from yesterday. So let me start sharing my screen. So we have discussed regarding the different terminologies of performance testing and why performance testing is required. So we'll go to the next topic, guys. So now we are going to start with the performance testing life cycle. Okay, performance testing life cycle means there are different phases in performance testing, so we are going to discuss those phases. So as far as the software testing life cycle goes, similarly we have the similar kind of test phases in performance testing life cycle also, everyone. So the different test phases in performance testing life cycle are requirement gathering. So the first phase is that you have to gather the requirements. I'll also discuss the detailed list of activities, guys, whatever we'll do in this phase. And once the requirement gathering is completed, we'll go to the test plan and design phase. After test plan and design, we'll go to test execution. After test execution, we have the test results analysis. So whatever tests we execute, right, for each of the tests, we will have the test results. So we'll have to analyze the test results. Once the test results analysis is completed, we will do the test reporting, everyone. So whether it is waterfall model or whether it is agile model, so these phases will fit in into each methodology, guys, be it waterfall, be it agile. Sorry, I forgot one thing, guys. I had given one question in the group, right? What is the relationship between response time and throughput, right? So the correct answer is that response time is inversely proportional to throughput. So inversely proportional means, guys, with increase in value of one parameter, the value of other parameter will decrease, right? So here, guys, just imagine if my response time decreases, if my response time decreases, what will be the impact on throughput? So if my response time decreases in a given amount of time, more number of requests will be processed. All of you agree with me or not? For example, guys, let's take the duration as 1 minute. Okay, let's take the duration as 1 minute. Okay, so let's take the duration as 1 minute. Okay, now, guys, if my, let's say the request is going one after the another. Okay, the request is going one after the another. If one request takes 10 seconds to process, or let's say the response time is 10 seconds, who can tell me in 1 minute how many requests will be processed?
Six, sir.
6.
All of you? Very good, guys.
6 seconds.
Very good. So if one request takes 10 seconds to process, in 1 minute, 6 requests will be processed. Agree? Now, guys, if one request takes 5 seconds to complete, so in 1 minute, how many requests will be processed?
12.
12.
Double.
Agree, all of you? So, guys, one request takes 10 seconds to process, means if I assume this to be the response time, agree? So in 1 minute, my 6 requests are getting processed. So if I consider the throughput to be TPM, means transactions per minute. So in the first case, what is the TPM, guys? In the first case, what is the TPM?
6.
6. Very good. And in the second case?
12.
12. So what do we see, guys? When the response time is decreasing, my throughput is increasing. When my response time is increasing, throughput is decreasing. Are all of you clear?
Yes.
All of you?
Yes.
Yeah, because I saw a few people mentioned no way related. Few people mentioned that, they are directly proportional. So please remember, response time and throughput, they are inversely proportional to each other. So what about hits per second and throughput? For a good performing application, for an application having good performance, what will be the relationship between hits per second and throughput? Hits per second is nothing but number of requests per second.
It should be directly.
So I hear directly. Others? I'm not sure. When someone unmutes, I can hear my voice.
So hits per second are the hits went to the server, right? And throughput
Yes.
is how much got successfully processed.
Yeah, basically how many requests are processed by the server. So what is the relationship between them for a good performing application?
Inversely only.
Okay, someone is saying inversely. Guys, the relationship is directly proportional. Where is the confusion, everyone? I'm clearly saying that the application is having good performance. If the application is having good performance, when my number of hits will increase. So TPM or TPS, whatever. Let's say number of hits per second is 10. So, okay, number of hits per second is 10. And if the application is having good performance, so the TPS will also be 10. Probably it can process. Let's say I'm saying the TPS is 10. So if similarly hits is 15, so the TPS could be also 15 because the application is having good performance. Yes or no?
But Chandra, the number of hits is the TPS only, right?
No. See, guys, I have already explained in 2 sessions. Again, you are saying number of hits is TPS.
The transaction per second is like hitting the server. One transaction is one hitting the server.
No. Transactions per second is the output of the system. I clearly told throughput is TPS. Yes or no? Throughput is TPS or TPM or TPH. Basically, number of requests processed by the server per unit time is your throughput.
Okay.
Okay. and number of hits means the number of requests going to the server. Understood? So throughput is all about response and hits is all about requests. Clear, everyone? So please remember, but there is a condition here for an application having good performance, guys. Okay, so whenever the application is having good performance and you are seeing the relationship that hits per second and TPS, they should be directly proportional to each other. And if you see that with the increase in number of hits, your throughput is decreasing, or with the decrease in number of hits, your throughput is increasing. Is it a good news for you or is it a bad news for you? For you,
Bad.
Bad.
Okay, very good. Others?
Option one should be good.
Sorry?
Option 1, if throughput is getting increased and hit also is getting increased, so it's good.
No,
right?
no. I asked a different question.
Oh, okay,
I was
okay,
asking you, I was asking if my number of hits per second is increasing, but throughput is decreasing, and if number of hits per second is decreasing, throughput is increasing, whether it is a good news or bad news for you.
Bad, because the server capacity is not able to handle that.
The performance is not good, right? All of you clear? But it is a good news for you on a lighter note. I'm being a bit selfish here, guys. I am a performance QA. My bread and butter is as much defects I find, that is good for me, right? For the project, it might be bad, but if I'm finding issues, it is good for me, right?
Correct.
Then
Correct.
only I'll be recognized or not, guys.
Yes.
Correct.
No, I'm just saying on a lighter note, okay? But
No,
yes,
you're right.
it is. So if your hits per second is increasing, but your throughput is decreasing, and if vice versa, then the performance of the application is not good. Means basically you have actually identified a bottleneck. You have actually identified one issue. Clear, everyone?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So these are the different phases in the performance testing life cycle, everyone. Okay. So now we'll go to the next one. So now we are going to see the list of activities in each phase, everyone. We are now going to see the list of activities in each phase. So the first phase is the requirement gathering phase. As I told you, in the requirement gathering, we are going to basically gather the requirements. Okay, but we'll discuss all the activities, guys. So, be it be functional testing, be it be non-functional testing. In order to do the testing, you need to understand the application under test. Okay. Whatever application has been given to you for testing, you need to understand that application, guys. So from performance testing point of view also, you need to understand the functionality. And not only the functionality, along with that, you have to also understand the architecture of the application. When I say architecture, it is basically the backend components of your application. How is the web server, or what is the technology based on which the web server has been built? What is the capacity of the web server? What is the capacity of the application server? What is the capacity of the database server? Which database is being used? Which technology has been used in the application server? What is the technology stack of your application? So these all technicalities are also involved. But from a functional QA point of view, they will just understand the functionality, right? But for performance testing, you have to understand the functionality as well as the architecture of the application, guys. Okay.
So you mean gray box? Functional will be white box testing, and this performance will be gray box testing. Correct? Where we have knowledge of the.
I had heard
Yes.
about white box and black box. I'm not sure.
But gray box is in between. White box
Okay.
and black box. Not totally the
Okay.
code you should know, but you should know the overall high level functionalities. The end-to-end server configuration.
But anyways, as I told you, we have to understand the application functionality as well as the architecture of the application,
Yes,
the
yes, correct.
technology stack of the application.
Yes.
Okay, so those all things. Clear, everyone?
Yes.
Again, from a functional testing point of view, the functional testers have to understand the entire application. Yes or no? But one thing over here in performance testing is that you don't need to understand the entire application, guys, in details. If you are able to understand, well and good. No one is stopping you from doing that. But if you are not understanding the entire application also, that's fine. But there are certain areas on which you have to focus. There are certain areas in the application which you have to understand completely. And they are basically your scope. Whatever scope is there in performance testing, okay? Whatever scope is there in performance testing, you definitely need to understand that. Now, in my application, there can be so many scenarios. Yes or no, guys? In my application, there can be so many scenarios. So how do I know which all scenarios will be in the scope of performance testing? I'll come to that. Very, very important interview question. The interviewer will, okay, when I discuss that, I'll come to it. So once you understand the application, okay, as I was telling you, you have to identify the scope. In the requirement gathering phase, once you understand the application, once you understand the architecture, you have to identify the scope. Scope means what you will test, right? What are you going to test? So from a scope point of view, guys, you have your non-functional requirements as well as the user flows of the application. Okay, the user flows, the business flows in the application. Remember, guys, okay, I will put one question to you guys. Do you think any application you take, do you think the entire application need to be performance tested, everyone?
No.
Just let me know your thoughts, okay? And I'll encourage, like, whoever has some experience on performance testing, I'll encourage, do not mind, guys, but I'll encourage you to please stay back, means please be a bit, what to say, please give others a chance to speak. I want to understand their thoughts who do not have experience on performance testing, because whoever has experience, I think you will be able to explain it. So whoever doesn't have the experience, maybe you can come forward and speak. What do you think? There is an application. Does the entire application need to be performance tested, everyone?
No.
See, when you are saying yes or when you are saying no, you should also explain your justification behind it, okay? Why do you think it should be no?
Because it's only like we have here two different, like functional and non-functional. Performance testing will come under non-functional test. Like everything, like it's only based on output, right? Only just an input, and backend will not be a focused.
Okay, no worries. But thank you for speaking up. Anyone else?
It's based on the requirement. Right?
Yeah, it's based on the requirement. Very good. But do you think, means could there be a requirement that the entire application need to be performance tested?
I don't think so. We can.
Okay. So guys,
Sir, I want to answer if my
please tell me.
understanding is correct, right? So I think application-wise, yes, we can test thoroughly end to end. But architecture-wise, right, maybe we cannot test it thoroughly.
No, it's not like that.
Okay, I will
See, when
give
it
one simple example. Like, for example, there is a banking application. Now you go and you log into the banking application and then you start doing the transactions. So certain transactions will be having very high usage. Like, for example, the login functionality is only once, so you don't need to stress test the login functionality at that level. But there are some functionalities which are continuous in the application, the business flows, that you need to test. So depending on then you will decide the scope, which are to be tested for stress and which are not to be tested.
Okay.
And depending upon the user, this also user survey also, how the user is using the application, like we discussed the model, workload distribution model.
Okay.
So
So guys,
Chandra,
yeah, tell me.
So,
Yeah, please proceed.
so
Yes, yes.
generally, like the performance testing is done in chunks. Like if we want to test the entire application in one shot, then it might give some unclear results, like which part is causing slowness or
No,
something.
no, that is a separate thing. My question was a
Ultimately,
bit.
ultimately, we
Okay.
can say that's what's exactly the critical scenarios. There might be
I'll, I'll
many
take.
other things.
Yeah, I'll take it over. Okay. So,
Mm,
guys, we have to identify the scope. Scope means what we have to test, right? So, very important question is, guys, how do you identify the scope for your performance testing? Remember, guys, PT candidates means which user flows will be in the scope of performance testing. This is very important, guys. They will ask you in the interviews. The interviewer will ask you. So let's say one application is given to you and it has so many user flows. How do you determine that which all user flows should be in the scope of performance testing? That will be the kind of question they will ask you. Please remember. Now, let me tell you guys, performance testing is all about load, right? Load, stress, yes or no? Like speed, scalability, reliability. Now, when it comes to, so primarily it is about volume. Do you think every module in an application, any application you take, do you think each and every module of an application experiences the same volume of users, or the same volume of users use each and every module of the application, guys? Do you think so?
No, no.
No, right? Each and the same number of users do not use each and every module of any application you take. All of you agree with me? So, guys, there is a very famous rule, 80-20 rule. I'm not sure if anyone of you have heard it or not. So 80% of the transactions, okay, 80% of the transactions happen on 20% of the application. I mean,
Yes, for
whatever is the
example,
whatever is the number of transactions in an application, okay, whatever is the number of transactions in an application, 80% of the transactions will take place on 20% module of the application, guys. Means whatever are the number of modules, in 20% of the modules only 80% of the transactions will take place. That is the general rule. For example, guys, when you register, you create your profile in an application. How many times do you think the users will go and update their profile? Any e-commerce application you take, you register yourself. So in your e-commerce application, your major objective is not to go and update your profile, right? Once you update it, it stays like that for long time. Are you getting me, guys? One moment, guys. Okay, give me a moment. I'll stop this screen sharing for a moment. One moment, everyone. Okay, can you all hear me, guys? Am I audible?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So let me reshare my screen. I hope my screen is visible to all of you. Can anyone confirm?
Yes, it's visible.
Thank you. Yeah, so I was saying about the 80-20 rule, right? So 80% of the transactions in an application happen in 20% of the modules, guys. So to support that justification, whenever your interviewer asks you, how do you determine the performance testing candidates, or which all user flows should be in the scope of performance testing? So, okay, so the answer should be those user flows, those business flows, those application scenarios which are frequently used by the users, which are frequently used by the users, guys. And those user flows which are mission critical, those user flows which are mission critical means with respect to that application, right? Whatever application, whether it is a banking application or e-commerce application or uh, like flight booking application, whichever transactions, whichever user flows are critical for that application. For example, banking means I should be able to do a fund transfer, I should be able to open an account, right? Means whatever is the objective of the banking application, so those are mission critical. E-commerce application means I should be able to purchase a product, that is mission critical. Now guys, for an e-commerce application, who can tell me the example of a frequently used user flow or scenario? Anyone?
Amazon.
No, I'm not asking you the name of an e-commerce application. My question is, any e-commerce application, tell me the example of a user flow which is normally used by most of the users or frequently used.
Browsing the products.
Very good. Searching the product. Searching the product. Guys, if all the users, okay, do you think searching a product is mission critical for the e-commerce application?
No, checkout and payment will be mission critical.
Very good. Searching the product is not mission critical, guys. Just imagine if all the users keep on searching the products, is it of any benefit to the e-commerce application? Anyone? No one does any purchase. They only keep on searching. Is it good?
But even the login also is mission critical if it takes so much time.
Yeah, I understand that. I'm not saying like whether I'm not saying about login now. I was asking about frequently used. Which scenario could be frequently used?
Yeah, definitely.
There can be there. I'm not saying there will be only one user flow which will be mission critical. There can be so many user flows which can be mission critical based on that application. Understood? Like for example, booking a flight or canceling a flight ticket. That is also mission critical, right? The user should be able to reschedule their flights or cancel their flights. Yes or no? But search flight, it could be frequently used in a flight booking application. Also, people keep on searching also for flights, right? Yes or no? So frequently used and mission critical. All of you understood this? This is very, very important, guys. Okay. And guys, another thing which is in your scope is NFRs. For functional testing, you get functional requirements. For non-functional testing, you will get non-functional requirements. Okay. Now, in some organizations, let's say you have the entire non-functional testing in your scope, in your bucket. And I told you, non-functional testing is of different types. Yes or no? PT, let's say SR or ORT, security testing, accessibility testing, Okay, these are the different types of non-functional testing. Okay, now guys, just imagine if the entire NFT is your responsibility, your team's responsibility. So your requirements, whatever you will get, they will be combined of all these: performance, operational readiness, security, accessibility. But you as a person, or you and two other people, you are only responsible for performance testing in your team, guys. So your focus will be on performance testing NFRs only. Are you getting me? So here why I'm trying to say this, because sometimes see, I'm giving you all the practical experiences, guys. All these are experiences from the project. Okay. So if the entire NFT is in your scope, you will get the entire list of NFRs covering performance, operational readiness, security, accessibility. But if your responsibility is in only performance, then you will get performance testing NFRs. Okay, that is separate thing. But let's say even if you get the entire list of NFRs, what you have to do, if you have the responsibility of performance testing only, you have to figure out, or you have to filter out the performance testing NFRs only. Okay. And then in that performance testing NFRs also, some NFRs could be in scope, some NFRs could be out of scope. So you have to figure out that. And guys, in most of the projects, you will see that the NFRs are not complete. I'll share a questionnaire with you guys. Okay, how will you identify the NFRs, or how will you analyze the NFRs, or how will you gather the NFRs? Okay, so in most of the projects, you will see that the non-functional requirements are not complete, not clear. So what you have to do, guys, remember this: when you get the non-functional requirements, you have to analyze those non-functional requirements, find out if there are any gaps. If there are any gaps, go and talk to the business analyst. Remember, you will get the requirements from the business analyst, guys, in the project. Whoever doesn't have experience in performance testing, please keep this in mind. So you will analyze the non-functional requirements, you will find out if there are any gaps, and then you will basically again go back to the business analyst, clarify your queries, and then means it will go like 2-3 rounds. This kind of activity will be done, and then you will have a final list of NFRs. Once your final list of NFRs is there, so here one point I have written, guys: static testing of NFRs. Static testing means review of the NFRs, analysis of the NFRs. Static testing is a documentation activity, right? So you will go through the NFRs, whatever is given to you, you analyze them, you find out if there are any gaps, you find out if they are complete or not, and then go back to the business analyst, clarify your queries, get back the details from them, again analyze, and then have the final list. Once your NFRs are finalized, okay, once your NFRs are finalized, what you can do, you have to get the approval, guys, approval from your project stakeholders like your product manager, project manager. Okay, because if this is applicable to every testing phase, right, whatever requirements you get, that should be frozen. Otherwise, if requirements keep on changing, means your scope is changing. If your scope is changing, it is a never ending activity, right? Getting, guys? So these all are ideal scenarios, right? You should have finalized and approved NFRs and approved scenarios. Remember, when you are finalizing these user flows, okay, the PT candidates, you need to get the approval on that also, that we are going ahead with these user flows. The business users, the business analysts, they need to confirm that to you.
Chandra, one question, one doubt I
Yeah,
have.
tell me.
This NFR like approval also required? Yeah, based on the NFR, we will go with the test plan, and then test plan approval is required.
No, test plan approval is required, but you will create the test plan based on the NFRs, right? So it is
Correct, correct.
recommended that you get the approval on the NFRs also, that these are the final list of NFRs on which the testing has to be done. So based on those NFRs only, you will go and prepare your test strategy and test plan. Clear?
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so then guys, place a test environment request. Test environment means performance test environment. Performance test environment. Place a or request for the performance test environment. So there will be the environment team in your project. Ask them for the performance test environment, guys. And one important criteria for the performance test environment is that it should be close to production. Close to production means it should not sit near the production, guys. Okay, close to production means it should not go and sit near the production environment. Close to production means the infrastructure or the hardware specifications. Okay, the hardware specifications of your performance test environment should be similar to your production environment. Otherwise, what will happen? What if you do the performance testing in a low scale environment which is not identical to production, then whatever performance test results you will get, that will not hold true in production. So whatever performance testing you do, that is null and void. Are you getting me, guys? So one important criteria is that the performance test environment should be close to production. These all pointers, whatever I am mentioning, they are very, very important from interview point of view also. The interviewer will ask you, what is the most important criteria for the performance test environment? The performance test environment should be identical or similar to the production environment. Clear, everyone?
But sorry, sir, in case application is new, in that case?
In case the application is, very good question. In case the application is new also, your solution architect would already have designed how the production environment will look like. Understood? They will have already designed that, okay, my web server will be of this configuration. I'm sorry. App server will be of this configuration. Your database server will be of this configuration. That will already be designed, guys. We call it as the PTM, the physical technical model. Understood? Did I answer your query?
Yes. Yeah.
So whatever has been planned, that is a good question, guys. If the application is new, it has not yet gone to production, right? Even if it has not gone to production, it has already been designed by the solution architect, or it has already been planned. So as per that plan, you need to get it. Now you can ask me if that plan is not there. In that case, you have to reach out to the solution architect, get the details from him. What is the plan for production environment? Tell me the hardware specifications. Based on that only, I will raise the request for performance test environment. Till the time it is not available, your performance test environment cannot be built. So that is a risk to your delivery. Are you getting me, guys? Is it clear, everyone?
Yeah.
Very good. Next. So guys, everything is not smooth, right? As we speak, in any project you think, nothing is smooth. So every phase, every activity has the challenges. So for requirement gathering phase in performance testing also, guys, there are few challenges. Finalized scope and NFRs means finalized scope, finalized NFRs. As I told you, in many projects, you will see that the NFRs are not clear, the NFRs are not complete. In some projects, there will be no NFRs also. Okay. So that is a challenge, but you have to overcome that. So what will you do? You will brainstorm with your business analyst. You will bring your expertise into that discussion. You will educate your customer about performance testing, about NFRs, help them document. Believe me, guys, that happens. In many projects, I have educated my business analyst, my business users, my customer, that this is performance testing. This is how you should document the NFRs. You will share some sample NFRs with them. Understood? Similarly, finalize scope. Scope might not get finalized, but you have to follow up. Okay, follow up, get the NFRs finalized, get the scope finalized, guys. The sooner you finalize the scope, the better it is for you. Otherwise, if the scope keeps on changing, you will have to do a lot of rework in the future. Understood? You need to avoid that. And guys, another one is performance test environment availability is also a challenge. Sometimes due to budget constraints, sometimes due to, as someone was mentioning, if my application is new, maybe the solution architect hasn't yet thought of about the production environment. But even if they have thought of, the hardware has not been procured. So if the hardware has not been procured, the environment cannot be created. Are you getting me, guys? So test environment availability is another challenge, performance test environment. So in case anyone asks you, what are the challenges which you have faced, you can say some of these. One of the challenge for which I was facing in my project was that, the NFRs were not getting finalized, the NFRs were not complete. So what I had to do, I had to engage with my business analyst, I had to get my queries clarified. Okay, in that way you have to answer. Are you getting me, guys? These will be the kind of interview questions which you will get. So with this, we come to the end of requirement gathering phase. Any questions, anyone? Any questions, anyone? So the exit criteria of your requirement gathering phase is that your scope is finalized, your NFRs are finalized, and they are approved. Are all of you clear?
Actually, sometimes the problem is that the requirements keep changing in
Yeah,
between.
that is true. Requirements will keep on changing. That is why you will have to basically, if you do this static testing of your NFRs in the beginning itself properly, then there are very less chances that the requirement will change. You have to have a proper discussion with your business analysts.
No, I mean
Also,
the product requirement, the application requirement itself changes.
no,
Like the
if the
application flow itself changes.
if the
Yes, yes,
application requirement changes, it is not in my hands, right? If the application requirement
yes,
changes, then definitely your development team will have to work from the scratch again.
yes, yes. And again, we have to change our NFRs also then.
Yes, that is definitely, that is there. See, when I'm talking about getting the finalized list of NFRs, it is with respect to performance testing only. But if you are talking about something which is going to impact all the teams, then I cannot be immune
Yes,
to that, right? I'll also have to face that problem.
yes.
Okay.
Oh.
Any questions, anyone? Very good. So we'll go to the next phase, guys. The next phase is test plan and design phase. So my entry criteria for test plan and design is that my scope is finalized, so whatever is the exit criteria for requirement gathering, that becomes the entry criteria for test plan and design. Yes or no? So my test plan, my test scope is finalized, my NFRs are finalized. So once that is there, I can go ahead and create my test strategy. Yes or no? Performance test strategy. Guys, I'll share the templates for the test strategy and test plan also. Okay. So you have to create the test strategy for your performance testing. So how will you do that, guys? So once you get the scope, so normally the different sections in your test strategy will be like project background, okay, objectives, scope of the project. Then in that scope, you will mention what is in scope, what is out of scope. In your out of scope, you need to clearly mention the justification, why are you keeping them out of scope. Then the list of non-functional requirements, again, those NFRs which are in scope, those NFRs which are out of scope, right? And then you will map your NFRs, and then what are the different types of tests which you are planning to do. Then you will map the NFRs with your tests, that is your traceability metrics. Okay. Then test data requirement, then the uh, risks, right? The risks, issues, dependencies, assumptions, those all things you will do. RAID log, right? Risks, assumptions, issues, and dependencies. So those all things you will basically do. You will document. So guys, I was telling you that I'll be sharing you the template. Okay, that is just for reference purpose. Now remember one thing, guys. Few projects will already have their test strategy template and test plan template for performance testing. If your project already has a test strategy template, okay, if your project already has a test strategy template, please use the template of your project. Similarly, if your project has the template for your test plan, please use the template of the project. But in case there is no existing template already available, okay, if there is no existing template already available, what you can do, you can suggest this template, get it reviewed by your project stakeholders, and then document based on that. But if the template is already available, you should always follow the template of your project, guys. That is very, very important. Okay. Okay, so then test data approach, guys. Now this is very okay. No, sorry. Before going to test data approach, so once you create the test strategy, what you have to do? You have to do a peer review. Peer review means review with your test lead, review among your peers, get it reviewed internally. Internal review. Once you review it internally, whatever feedback you receive from them, okay, whatever feedback you receive from them. So whatever feedback you receive from them, please basically incorporate that feedback, and then do a walkthrough with your customer stakeholders, project stakeholders. Then whatever feedback you get, incorporate them, and then get the approval from them. Am I clear, everyone?
Yes.
Okay, so these are the two activities which we'll do, guys, for test strategy documentation, for test plan also. Once you create the draft, get it reviewed by your peers. Once it is once you incorporate their feedback, do a walkthrough with your project stakeholders. Once it is approved by your project stakeholders, then you can take that as a final document. Next, test data approach, guys. This is very, very important again. Now, guys, when you do functional testing, for example, you have to test, the positive scenario for a login functionality. How many user credentials will you need normally? What do you think? You have to do the functional testing for the positive scenario of login. How many user credentials will you hardly need?
At least username and password.
2, 3,
maybe around
Or
couple of
CAPTCHA
5,
also.
6.
couple of,
Multi-factor authentication.
sorry?
We need around a couple of like 6, 7, because
Yeah,
if
6, 7 could
bank
be on the higher number also. Let's
max to
okay, it
max
could be
10.
on the role based also. Let's say 4, 5, or 6, 7, or 10 also. That's fine, right? But when it comes to performance testing, guys, if I have to do a test with 1,000 users, okay, my application doesn't allow multiple logins from a single user ID. How many user credentials will I need?
Yes, you need multiple user credentials for multiple users.
When I said 1,000 users, right? I have to do a
Yes,
test
then
with
1,000
1,000
credentials.
users. Okay, if
Yes.
I have to do a test with 1,000 users on an application and my application doesn't allow multiple user login, so in that means multiple logins from a single user ID, then in that case, how many credentials will I need?
Depends what
1,000,
number of yes.
right? 1,000. So are you? And this is just a basic thing, guys. And I'm not going to test only login, right? Are you getting me? So there can be so many transactions where test data will be required. Clear, everyone? So there will be so many transactions where
Yes.
test data will be required. So for that purpose, we have to, and we will need huge amount of test data. As we are going to need huge amount of test data, we need to come up with a approach. Okay, we need to come up with an approach that how are we going to create the test data for our performance tests. Okay, we have to come up with the approach how to create the test data for our performance tests, and that test data creation can be done manually, or you can also automate that process. Whatever approach you think of, you can do it manually or you can automate that, but I'll recommend to go for automation. Previously, what was happening, this test data creation was the responsibility of the functional testing teams for performance testing also, but nowadays they are not doing that. And nowadays what is happening, there are separate teams also being onboarded into the projects to create the test data. So there is a team like test data management teams now. Okay, so they will use some tools to create the test data. If your project has such kind of team, then you are lucky, right? You can just pass on the test data request to them. But if not, then you have to think about how you want to go ahead with the creation of test data for your performance tests. Clear, all of you?
Yes,
Alright.
yes.
Yes. So guys, we'll stop the session here today. Before I stop, anyone has any queries?
This test data approach, the tools to create test data, you will show this in this training?
No. That is not in the scope of this training.
Okay, so that will be like, you can give like a very high level, like what type of tools it will be? Like it will
No, in fact,
be...
sometimes you can use JMeter also. I'll explain you. Okay. Okay, let me
Okay.
explain. Because you asked that question, let me touch upon that point. Let's say I have to create 1000 test credentials, test user credentials. Okay. So
Yes,
guys, in order to create user credentials, I can directly write SQL queries to insert into the database, or I can also do a registration, right? I can register a user on my application. If I have to log in, I should also have a registration user flow or not? All of you?
yes, correct.
Very good. So if there is a registration user flow, what I can do, I can develop a JMeter script for my registration. Clear?
Correct.
And then what will I do? I will pass different values to that, like, unique email ID, unique username, unique password, or I can have the same password for all the users, not an issue. And I can run that 1000 times. Which one? That script. I can run that script 1000 times. So will I get my 1000 credentials, everyone?
Yes.
So this is one approach. So
And the other approach is making the test database direct in the Excel, the username and password, and insert in the database. And from here,
but
like...
you never know. But if you never
Yes.
know, that mapping could be present, means your those values might have to go to say different tables. Yes or no?
Yes.
That is
Which
what I'm trying to
that the
say.
DB
Yes.
team can help. Yes.
Okay. Could I please know your name?
Murtaza.
Yeah. Yes, Murtaza. That is what I'm trying to say. That it will basically depend on your application. When you are
Correct.
so in the requirement gathering phase, you understood the application, right? You got the application
Yes.
idea. So from that only you have to think, how can I create my test data?
Correct.
It will vary from application to application. That is what I'm trying to say.
Yes.
You have to think of your test data approach. It could be manual, it could be automated, but always try to go for automated approach. But if there is a separate team onboarded into a project to create the test data for you, you can place the request with them as well. Are all of you understand?
Yes. Got it. Yes, got it. Clear.
Others?
Clear.
Others, are we clear? I'll take the silence as a yes. So
Do you have any sample actually NFR? Sorry.
yes, I'll share that. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
So I think yesterday or day before yesterday I was discussing some of the NFRs, right? But I'll share some sample NFRs to you guys. Maybe I'll show in the tomorrow session also. Okay, as we have reached the time today. So guys, with this we'll stop this session for today. Thank you all for joining. If you have any queries,
thanks a lot.
Yeah, if you have any queries, you can post your queries in the group as well. Do not hesitate to ask questions, guys. The more questions you ask, the better it is for me, for you, for everyone. Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you all for joining. Hope you enjoyed today's session, guys. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Chandra, for the nice session.
Thank you all.